Good morning, RFMA. Are we awake? Maybe. I figure I'm speaker two, so maybe the caffeine is kicked in, I'm hoping. So my name is Denee Doyle. I'm super excited to be here with you guys doing RIF Talks 2019. Today we're going to talk about operational efficiencies and how they can directly affect how your customer feels when they visit your restaurants. Behaviors have changed a lot, over the decade, and much of the repeat business you get in your restaurant is much less around the food or the service and more around the physical space and the environment and giving them a feeling when they visit your restaurant. And as many of you in this room know, it's hard to manage that efficiently on your own. So the first thing I want to do before we start is I want you to think of a time where you walked into a restaurant and immediately felt excited to be there. You had the expectations around ambiance and environment was exactly what you wanted. The presentation was what was expected and everything was well lit, the temperature was perfect, everyone in your party was able to order everything they wanted because all the kitchen equipment worked, which is most important. So within that, for me, I live in Los Angeles, California, and there's a chain there that does this for me. I can get food, better food and service other places, but for me it's really the ambiance. There's a few chains that I know every time I walk in the door, the owners created that for me. Anyone who wants to order whatever they want is going to be able to get it because all the kitchen equipment works. The brand expectations are met every single time. It's always clean, the kitchen equipment's working, the dining area is well lit. So I know every single time I'm getting that experience that I expect, not so much again around the food or the service, but strictly around the restaurant and the ambiance itself. So now I want you to flip gears and I want you to think of a bad experience that you had at a restaurant. So assume some of you might live in the Midwest and experienced that ridiculous cold front you had, which left you inside for 2 days. So that third day, it finally climbs above 5 degrees. You get the kids in the car, you're ready to go to your favorite burger joint. You drive up to find that the parking lot is covered in snow and ice, so you have to park across the street and walk over. The dining area is freezing, and the waitress lets you know that the HVAC system isn't working, and they hope you brought your jacket. And then worst case, your 7-year-old goes to order a cheeseburger and french fries. The waitress informs him that there is a fryer broken in the back, so he gets broccoli instead of french fries. And any parent out here knows that will affect your experience. So unfortunately, these experiences stay with us. And back then, my experience could be just mine or my direct friends and family that I could talk to. But we live in a world filled with platforms. We all get to share our experiences. So you've got Facebook, Yelp, and Twitter, and there's even an app out there called Sit or Squat. Does anybody know this in this room? No sit or squat, folks? It's kind of good. So Sit or Squat's an app where folks can actually report if it's a restaurant you can sit in, or if it's one they would recommend you squat in. So obviously you don't want your restaurants on the squat list. That could absolutely deter anybody from walking in or even tasting your cuisine because they don't want to squat over your toilet. So technology has really given us a voice, which means customers' bad experiences are now the world's bad experiences and can directly affect if they ever walk into your restaurant to eat your food anyways. So as we compete with other things such as delivery apps, you've got Uber Eats, you've got Grubhub, you've got Postmates, which means the customers now can get the food they want without ever walking into your restaurant. This is great for folks who want to get their cuisine in the hands of folks that maybe couldn't get to your restaurants, but it's also bad because we know we're paying incredibly high minimum wages, right, to our employees who now have no one to wait on. You've got meal kits, such as Plated and HelloFresh and Blue Apron, and while these are incredibly important for folks who have busy lives, I'm a working mother, and I love the fact that I can have it delivered to my door. I don't have to go to the dreaded grocery store, right? I don't have to lug my family out there. So very convenience-driven for that particular perspective. And lastly, it's just the culture shift. We're all juggling a lot more today than we used to. We've got kid activities, we've got jobs that have higher expectations on us. So when we are awarded free time, we are absolutely more picky about who we're going to give that time to and which locations we're actually going to go visit. The noise, the crowds, the parking, that is just all deterring me to basically Grubhub my food to my door. So what I want to talk now about is the customer experience. It really ends with managing and maintaining the physical space of the restaurant. And that inside and outside space that gives that particular patron when they go into your doors a feeling or an expectation around your brand. So you really need to be deliberate with the brand and really focus on those operational standards. And to do that, there's a few critical things in terms of operations you should think about. So executing your brand strategy, what does that mean? It really means that you're providing an outlined best practices and standards across the whole chain. And it's not only letting them know and it's communicated from the employee's perspective at the restaurant, but they know how to execute it. They know exactly what their expectations and what they need to do from a KPI standpoint. You need to give your folks easy-to-use tools to execute the standards. Maybe that's a work order management system where they're able to actually create the work orders or see exactly where the flow is, or they can get a quick understanding of best practices. When those situations come up, they really understand how to handle them. And the last thing I'll mention is data. So data is incredibly important in every industry, and especially in restaurant now, is collecting that data and understanding it. And we know that what we can measure better, we can manage better. So data is incredibly useful, but it's very unuseful if it's coming from multiple sources or it's inaccurate. So it's important that you're providing tools, that you're getting some clean data so that you can really manage the actual program and have your facilities team see what's working and maybe what's not working. And again, with that data, it empowers you to be smarter to pull those levers from your actual program itself. So we've talked about brand strategy, maintenance tools, and data. So now what? Well, you're here at RFMA for a reason. You're here to talk to vendors, you're here to talk to your peers, you're here to kind of make your program stronger and better. So I want to leave you with just a few key things to look for as you're walking the trade show floors today. And one of those is making sure that you have vendors that truly understand the uniqueness of restaurants. You know, you have night and weekend support, 24-hour support, quick turnaround times, revenue-bearing equipment. You know, you need folks that have industry knowledge and understand the urgency of your business. And a true partner is going to offer actionable insights and take a predictive approach. You know, I think it's fair to say most of what we do today is very reactive. It's very reactive in nature. So it would be nice if you could shift gears a bit and work more in a proactive state and find vendors that want to help you do that and be understanding that their success is your success. You've got, you know, communication, visibility, and transparency. It's incredibly important that you're teaming up with these vendors and that they're not hiding anything from you from a KPI metrics or anything like that, that they're working with you to make sure that the program is a successful one. And 24-hour support, you know, meaning getting a live person on the line. There's nothing worse than having something break down in the back and you're getting a voicemail from your favorite vendor because he's out and can't help you. So make sure that they truly, again, understand the urgencies. And last thing is really managing the tools. You'd be surprised at a lot of the tools that are already out there that vendors have that you can utilize. So it's important to ask the questions. Find out what insights they can provide you. Maybe it's reporting or anything that they can give you kind of that overall ending savings that you can get from the program by just partnering with them and asking them what tools that they can physically deliver for you for the program. So maintaining the space, as we can say, is helping the customers, helping you, and I think it's important that you allow those folks to give you the attention that you deserve from a vendor perspective. So I appreciate your time. Have a great rest of the RFMA show, and enjoy the city of Austin. Thank you.